Laura, please don't forget to take the pictures of today's class. We are going to talk about the pandemic, 2 interventions per student. All right, let's get this started. So the title is The Pandemic, and we are going to start with the questions, right? You're supposed to search information saying when will this pandemic end according to the news and according to different websites. What information did you found about when will the pandemic end? Who wants to start participating? Leave me your participations by the chat so that I can let you know what is going to be the order for the interventions. Who wants to start by saying the information? Okay, we have the first person. Paola wants to speak. Come on, Paola, speak.
Thanks. The question is, when will this pandemic end? I think it will probably become a virus that is here to stay, and we should learn to live with it.
Okay, I think that's very interesting what you said, because as you said, this was a virus that came here to stay with us, and now we need to get used to live with COVID-19. That was a very interesting comment, Paula. Thank you very much. Let me write your participation with one, and then according to the order from the chat, Eric Reyes said that he wanted to speak about the first question. Come on, Eric, speak.
Um, it will be a long time for the pandemic to end in its entirety. What is going to exist is a new normality with which we will learn to live and bring our life again.
Exactly. As you said, we are not going to have like a specific end for the pandemic because, as you said, it will be a new normality, as you said. So, in this new normality, as you said, we are going to get used to live with the virus according to what Paola Silva said, that we need to learn to live with this virus. Thank you very much for your participation, Eric. Now you have one participation, all right? And let's go on to the next. Victor wants to speak. Come on, Victor, speak about the first question.
Yes, and an estimated date will be in October, but I believe that nobody knows when the pandemic ends due to dependency of the level of contagion and also that it respects both security measures and the society.
Exactly. According to what you said, yes, some scientists, some experts, they have said that probably it will end on October, as you previously said. But as you also said, it depends on the security measures, and it also depends according to the interest of people. If they follow the instructions, if they follow the measures, maybe this can be over on October, as you said. Thank you very much. And then we have another person to participate. Jonathan said that he wanted to speak. Come on,
Okay.
Jonathan.
Yes,
Speak.
teacher. Okay. When will this pandemic end? I hope that as soon as possible, we are already at an orange traffic light. But the new normality will be perhaps very complicated.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment, Jonathan. I think in this case, as you said, it's gonna be very complicated because now that we are in the orange color, as you said, many people have started to think that everything has gone back to the way it was, but that's not true because we need to be alert on the specific measures that we have to follow because the orange color doesn't mean that everything is better. It means that there are less chances to get sick of COVID and that there are more places or more spots at the hospital for you to stay than when the light was red. Thank you very much. Let me see if we get like two more comments about this topic, and then we change it to the next question, all right? According to the order of the chat, Diana Laura said that she wanted to speak. Come on, Diana, go on.
I will depend on the traffic link as the progressed. It may be in September or October.
Okay, thank you very much. That was like to reinforce what Jonathan previously said, that maybe we are going to finish with this pandemic until the months of September or October. And as you said, it depends um, on the color of emergency, all right? Diana Laura has one participation already. Wendy will participate and then Laura, and we conclude and we pass to the next question, all right? Come on, Wendy, start to speak about this.
Hello, the pandemic will end in August of the year. This is specific. It's probably be posted until next year.
Okay, well, this is something very new because according to what you search, yes, you forecast that this pandemic will be over until the next year. Yes, probably that could happen if we don't follow the measures, but we need to remember that this virus is not going to be over just magically, right? It will live with us, but we need to learn to live with this virus changing our lives radically. So we continue with Laura, and after Laura, we change to the next question. Yes, Laura, please start to speak.
Yes, teacher. When the vaccine has already been applied in most people, and when people have responsible care.
Yes, that's right. Very interesting your comment about the vaccine because, as you said, maybe when we start having the vaccine, this pandemic could be controlled little by little, all right? So we need to get the vaccine first, and then we can start to check how this pandemic progresses, all right? Thank you very much for your comment, Laura. We have concluded with the first question that it was when will the pandemic end? And now we will go on to the second question. The second question is when will Mexican students will come back to face-to-face schools? You know, as an introduction for this, you know that since March, we haven't had any face-to-face classes and everything has been online. And for some students, it has been complicated because they don't have the sources to study, right? Mainly the ones who don't have internet, maybe the ones who don't have a very good internet connection. So let's see. According to the chat, Eric said that he wanted to speak. Do you want to speak about this question, Eric, or do we continue with another person?
Hey, teacher.
Yes, do you want to answer this question or we
Yes,
continue with another person?
yes. Sorry.
Come on.
When will Mexican students will come back face-to-face schools? Uh, the Ministry of Education estimates that the return of the students to institutions is at the month of October of the recurrent year.
Okay, thank you very much. So, according to the date that Eric said, the Ministry of Education considers that the probability to come back to face schools will be on the month of October. Thank you very much. And then we continue with Emmanuel because he said that he wanted to speak after Emmanuel. Eric, do you want to tell us something about this question, Emmanuel?
Sure, teacher.
Come on.
I found some information that is a little bit longer.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem. So,
okay. In basic education, the sanitation process from the school sites and enrollments will be from August 3rd to 7th, while August 10 will be the referential date to formally start the 2020-2021 school year. To high school, the start of the 2020-2021 school cycle at this level will be referentially on August 3rd with the teaching of remedial and labeling courses. And university, the return to the university will not take place before September 7th, regardless of the type of period they have, as long as the health like is green, university and higher education institution will return to classrooms after the suggested date respecting their autonomy.
Okay, Emmanuel, I think your information was very interesting because unfortunately I have realized that in Mexico many people are not well informed. So I think that the dates that you said are very clear. Yes, because the first ones to come back to school, they need to wait until they have a sanitization procedure. All right, first they have to clean the schools and to sanitize them before we start going them, right? Because you know that schools, they have been closed for almost 4 months, so obviously they are kind of dirty, and that's the first period that we have to wait. And according to what you said, basic education school year will start on August the 10th, but that doesn't mean that that children or teenagers will come back on that date. Thank you very much. Let me see if somebody else wants to speak. After Emmanuel, Carla said that she wanted to say something. Do you want to answer this question, Carla, or we let this to another person?
Yes,
Come on.
classes will resume until it's completely safe. That is, until we are at a green light, we will be able to attend normal classes.
Okay, thank you very much. This is like to reinforce what Emmanuel said, that we need to be in the green light, in the green color, in order to start coming to school. All right. So now that we are in orange here in the state of Mexico, we are not yet able to start classes. You know, we still need to pass the process of being in the orange light. So this is like the second week of the orange light, and then we still need to wait for the process of passing to the yellow one. And then after that, we can, I suppose that it will be a slower process to pass to the green one. All right. So as you said, that is like the priority, right? Like we need to be first in the green color. All right. And then we have the participation of Alejandra. Do you want to speak about this, Ale, or we let this to another person?
Yes,
Come on.
the SEP calendar marks the return to school this August 26 in force for public and private schools incorporate into the educational subsystem.
Okay, very good. That was like another date that you said. But as you said, we are going to come back or we are going to start the school year. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to come back to the face-to-face schools. Very good. Thank you for your information. And then we go on to Gabriel. He wants to say something about this commandment. Start to speak.
Okay, maybe I just, well, I read in the morning that, where was the information?
Did you watch the video of the Ministry of Education?
No,
No, they haven't shown you that in your school?
not really, no.
Really? But okay, tell us, what did you read? Come on. It could be interesting to share that with us.
Mm,
Or you can give us like a recap of what Emmanuel, Alejandra, and Carla said.
okay, that supposedly we have to start classes in August, But to be face to face, maybe it could be until October or maybe for the next year. Well,
Yes.
the authorities in my school don't know when we're gonna be with the students face to face again.
Yes. But you are ready to start in virtual classes, I guess.
Ah, of course, yes. I started giving some like extra classes to reinforce the knowledge and things like that last week.
Okay, like a summer course.
There's something like that. Yes, it's like to nivellate the knowledge.
Mhm. For the ones who like didn't get the expected learning, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much. So it was a very interesting thing that you said that many people they have said that we may go back to face school maybe until the next year, but I suppose that they have been handling this with care, with careful, very careful, because maybe some people are going to get worried or they are going to get angry or get depressed about that. And it could be a topic that it's kind of complicated to speak with people. But thank you very much, Gabriel, for your information. I think that we check two more answers about this and then we check to the next question. All right. So we let Paola to participate. Do you want to say something about this, Paola?
It's about the same. Uh, the SEP notified that the next started date will be in September with the new school year, with the necessary hygiene measures, maybe in different semesters.
Okay, exactly. Because every school level, as you said, they have like a different calendar, all right? And then we pass to Jonathan. Maybe he wants to say something. And then we let Cynthia and we change to the question. Come on, Jonathan.
Yes, teacher. Okay. Um, at now, that the teacher had a meeting to talk about this issue. But there are still no dates, but I think it will be until the other year.
Okay, then. So we have another person saying that maybe we are going to come back until the next year. And I think that could be not so bad at all right? Because maybe we let some time to start like getting used to the new way of living, all right? But maybe it's a good idea if we go back to school to the next school year. And then, Cynthia, do you want to say something about this, or we continue with another question? You tell me.
Yes, teacher.
Come on.
When the hill is green, the universities and higher education institutions will return to the classroom after the surrogates date, receiving their autonomy. The maybe the new year.
Okay, thank you very much. So as you said, Cynthia, after the light is green, yes, after it turns to green, university levels or the higher levels or the highest level, sorry, of studying, they will come back to school because they will decide when to do it, it depending on their autonomy, right? Because you know that universities in Mexico, they have their own autonomy. They can decide their calendar, they can decide when they come back to school, when they finish semesters or periods or anything like that. All right. Thank you very much. We end with this second question and we go on with the third question. So let me write the participation of Cynthia. She had done her first participation, and then we go to the next question with Sandy. How will it be the method to make the students come back face-to-face classes? In this case, we want to know what is like the method that we have to follow once we come back to the face-to-face classes. What different things do we have to do? Sandy, are you ready to answer to this?
Yes, teacher. Guarantee soap and water in schools. the care of teachers in risk groups, the obligatory use of the mouth mask,
Yes.
implement godly distance in entrance and exits, and will as the implementation of staggered recess and alternate assistance.
Okay, that's something very interesting what you said, Sandy. I'm going to talk about first about what you said, that it's very basic and essential to have soap and water in all classes, all right? You know that especially in public schools, not all public schools they have water in their restrooms, all right? So I think that it sounds like very obvious, but believe it or not, in many schools they don't have it. All right, so that is like the first important thing that we need to consider, and also what they mentioned about checking the temperature of each person. All right, let me check with another person. Let me write first Sandy's participation with the first, and then Brenda said that she wanted to speak. Come on, Brenda, go on.
Yes. Maximize the use of open spaces, suspension of any type of ceremonies, early detection where with only one patient at the school, it will be closed for 15 days. Take care of the teachers and social emotional support for teachers and students.
Exactly. Very interesting what you said, Brenda. If in the school there is a case of a sick person of COVID-19, it will be closed for 15 days. As you said, they close it for 15 days because it's the time when the virus is sober. It's the time when the virus stays in your body. So according to what you said, it's very important to consider that, and the attendance, all right? Because I have heard that there is going to be a hybrid system of attendance where according to your last name you are going to attend to the school. Like for example, I heard that students from the letter A to the letter L, they are going to have a special day to come. The next day they don't come, and the next day the ones who are from the letter M to the letter Z, in the case of the last names, they can attend to school and so on. All right, thank you very much for your interesting information, Brenda. You got a participation. Omar said that he wanted to speak. Do you want to say something else about this, Omar?
Yes.
Come on.
While a distance between each student, her mouth cover and her antibacterial gel.
Yes. Exactly. It's important that every student carries a mouth mask, as you said, an antibacterial gel. That's very important because we are going to use it most of the time, all right? Especially when we have contact with other people. We have one participation for Omar, and then Marco Antonio Briseño said he wanted to speak. Do you want to say something else, Marco?
Yes.
Come on, man, speak.
With necessary um, measures to avoid catching, use with face mask, antibacterial gel, and with a distance to avoid spreading the virus again.
Okay, thank you very much, Marco. You have one participation. And let me retake what Marco said, that we need to respect distance, all right? I remember that, I think it was Brenda, that she said that some outside activities will be the priority, to have activities outside, but not having too many people together, all right? So in this case, I think that probably there will be some special spaces for you to have recess, because we have to avoid like to stay together in close places. Like for example, in our school, to have a lot of people in the library, that's not a good option, all right? And also, for example, to have a lot of people buying in the cafeteria, they can buy something, but they have to take their distance whenever they go to buy something. Thank you very much. I think that we can change to the next question so that we can let other people to participate. Um, okay, so the next question is, how will it be the measures to travel by airplane or by bus? Yes. What do we have to do now if we want to travel by airplane or by bus? Yes. Let me, according to the chat, Emmanuel said that he wanted to speak. Come on, do you want to say something about this?
Yes, teacher, I have some points.
Yes.
Okay, keep hands clean, obviously. Practice healthy distance. Always wear face mask. Go to the traveler's doctor or clinic weeks before traveling. Find out from official sources about the progress of the COVID-19 in the place you are going to visit, and assign it seats as far apart as possible.
So in this case, you are telling me that we cannot sit down closer to another person.
Yes, yes.
We need to leave a space empty. I understand that.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. And I think that's already happening. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I think this is already happening in some other places. Like, for example, if you go to the doctor, they tell you to get some distance between one person and another. So I think that this will happen still in the airplanes or in buses. And we also, as Emmanuel said, we have to respect the measure that every country has in case that we are going to travel abroad. Thank you very much. According to that, Veronica said she wanted to speak. Do you want to make another comment, Veronica?
Uh, the temperature will be there, and I must have mouth guards.
Okay, very good. As you said, it's important that we check what's the temperature of the person. In this case, can you believe that that in this time, still some people they can still imagine that if they check their the temperature of their body, checking with their checking in the forehead, yes, it will kill their neurons. You know that's not possible, all right? But many people who are not very well informed, they still consider that's possible, all right? But okay, you know that that happens when you don't read about the information, when you don't care about that. We can have this problem of not being informed, all right? Let's go on to the next one. In this case, we pass to the next question is, how can you protect yourself in closed areas as we get back to the new reality? Yes. In this case, I want you to ask you, what do you have to do now that we have to visit closed area places? You know that they are not in the complete capacity, right? So what can we do to protect ourselves when we go to closed areas? According to the chat, Wendy said she wanted to speak. Do you want to tell us something about this question, Wendy?
Yes, teacher. Wearing mask y working and hat.
Yes. All right. So as you said, it's like essential to wear a mask. Thank you very much. Let me write this to another participation for you. And then we have Karen Martinez. Do you want to say something else about this, Karen? Come on.
um, not having much contact with other people and being more hygienic.
Okay, exactly, right? That's something very important that we need not to have too much contact with other people, right? We need to have the basic contact, like for example, if we go out to buy something, the only contact that we can have with the other person is to pay it, right? And they are recommending us that the best way to pay by now it's by using a debit or credit card to pay instead of cash. Let's go on with Lisette. She said that she wanted to speak. Kamali said, go on to the next. Answer this question for us. Hello, Lisette. Are you here? Guess not. So let's let another person who hasn't participated. We are going to give priority to the people who are missing more participations, like Cynthia typed by the chat that she wanted to speak. Do you want to say something about this, Cynthia, or for the next question?
Yes, teacher. Um, Accept a health declaration to confirm that you have two symptoms. You have not been diagnosed with coronavirus. At all times, use a surgical mask or a superior protection that covers the nose and mouth, and keep the social distance. Wash your hands frequently with soap or gel and avoid physical contact.
Okay, thank you very much. This is very important what you said because there are some people who have been wearing a kind of mask that protects your eyes, all right? Because you remember, if you notice, this is a virus that can be transmitted not just by your mouth or your nose, it can also be transmitted by your eyes, and we need to be careful with that. Let me check with another person and we pass to the next one. Eric, do you want to say something about this or we change to the next? You tell me.
This
Okay, come on.
mentalizing and taking into account that it will take a long time for the return to the life
Yeah.
to which we are used, and the most important thing is the complete with the rules.
Exactly. Yes, we have to follow the rules because, as you said, we need to mentalize that this will be completely different, right? And if we are not ready for that, we can have some mistakes of like trying to have a physical contact with people that we haven't watched for a long time, right? So we need to mentalize about this. Let's go on to the next question. Eric gets his second participation. Let me write it down and we go on to the next question, right? I think this topic is very interesting. This question is like one of the most interesting because I will see in this question if you have been researching information or not, because many people they complain, okay, Mexico, it's a terrible country, it's a third world country, and that's why we are dying of COVID-19, but we need to find out what's the real reason, all right? Let me see. According to the chat, we have Marco. Marco, do you want to answer this question about why people in Mexico are dying of COVID-19?
Yes, because they don't take care of themselves. They keep going out when the instructions are to stay home, and if you get to go out of necessity, take precautionary measures and not get infected.
Okay, very nice. And as you said, one of the most important reasons of why people are dying is because they don't follow the instructions. All right, to some people they have been recommended to stay at home, but they don't want to. Right? I understand that some people they need to go out because they have to work because of the kind of business that they have. But the ones who have the chance to stay at home, they don't want to obey to the rules. All right. Let me see. And you have another participation, Marco. Okay. Laura, do you want to say something about this?
Yes, teacher.
Come on.
Because they do not take importance to the symptoms and are not attended.
Exactly, that's true. I remember that what you said, Laura, comes to my mind. A good friend that I have. And as you said, they ignore the symptoms. So when they start having the symptoms, they ignore them and they consider that it's just a common flu, a common cold. And as the days pass, it gets worse. It gets worse, sorry. And since they are ignoring this, they have more probabilities to die for ignoring the symptoms of this terrible sickness. Thank you very much. And after that, we have Victor. Do you have some information about this, Victor? Why don't you tell us something about related to the way we Mexicans eat?
Okay, I think that one reason is because many people have the virus and are asymptomatic and can spread many people without knowing it. And another is due the irresponsibility of many people who leave their homes unnecessarily and who do not carry out the recommended sanitary measures.
Okay, that's very true. And as you said, many people are not symptomatic. They go out and they have contact with other people. And you need to consider that some people they can have the virus, but they are asymptomatic because they are not sick of chronic diseases like the ones that I have previously mentioned: diabetes, hypertension, obesity. Yes, if they have this chronic sickness, they have more probabilities to get sick of COVID-19, all right? And the ones who are asymptomatic, they haven't developed the sickness because they are okay from those sickness. So if they have some contact with another person who is like propense to have this kind of sickness, they can get sick, and that's why they start to die. Okay, let me see. Esteban said that he wanted to speak. Do you want to tell us something about these reasons, Esteban? I don't know if you're here, Esteban, so that if not, we can pass to Vanessa. She said she wanted to speak. Come on, Vanessa.
Yes, teacher.
One.
Mm, I really don't think that because I have relatives at quantitances who die of something else and I in the hospital, they make the family believe that they die from COVID-19.
Okay, that's something very true according to what you said. They make them believe that they are sick of that and not necessarily that's true. I have heard in the news that some in some hospitals they are paying to the deaf people to pretend they died of COVID-19 when they actually died for another thing, and I think that's terrible. All right, Diana, do you want to say something else, or we change to the next question?
Yes,
Come on, Diana.
because not believing that COVID existed and for not giving the appropriate measures and not staying at home if it is not necessary to live.
Okay, that's okay. But listen to this. Just to close this question, I want to say that a reason that most of you haven't mentioned is about the kind of food that we consume in Mexico. You know that for many years they have like tell us to you can see it in in the TV commercials, in the products that we have in the store, even in the store of the school, even in Lucerna store. If you go there, most of the kind of food that you can buy there is junk food. And let me tell you that from 30 years to now on, it has increased the percentage of obese people. And if you start getting obese, you are a candidate to develop this kind of chronic sickness like hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. So we need to start taking care of our health, especially about doing more exercise and try to eat less junk food, because that is what people they have haven't considered, is that this is like the most important reason of why people die. Yes, many people say no, but in Japan they have a lot of people like in Mexico, and they have died less. I got some news for those ones. Yes, let me tell you that most of the population in Japan, they are thin, they are not fat. And I have heard that some other people say in China they are much more people than in Mexico, and less people died in China. Have you ever seen Chinese people? they are not fat. Yes, their diet is very balanced, and obviously, if they are not fat, they have more probabilities to survive to this kind of sickness. That, as you said, some people they can have the virus, but they can be asymptomatic because of that. So the ones who have overweight, they have more chances to be symptomatic of this sickness. All right, let's go on to the next question. We have the participation of Brenda. Do you want to say something about this, Brenda, about the colors of precaution?
Yes. Only two colors or four?
Whatever you want. You want to say red and orange?
Yes.
Come on.
Public health and work measures will be lost. Non-essential activities will be returned in a reduced way.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you very much.
Yellow color, public
Yes.
health and work measures continue, but public activities also return to normal in open and closed spaces.
Okay, that's nice. So as Brenda said, when we pass to the yellow color, yes, the capacity of the places will increase little by little, and we'll back to a new normal way to be there. All right. So remember that the fact that we pass to the yellow color doesn't mean that the pandemic is over. We still need to continue with the precautions about this. Do you want to say something about this, Manuel, Eric, or do you want to let this question for another person?
Yes, teacher.
What color do you want to explain?
Red.
Red, come on.
The level of infections that are registered in the hospital is our specific colonies. This color is infection of maximo level of mortality.
Okay, thank you very much. As you said, I think it was very interesting what you said because the color it depends on the space that we have in the hospital and the percentage of contagious people. Thank you very much for this. So remember, as I told you before, the thing that we pass to the orange color doesn't mean that the pandemic is over. It means that there's more space in the hospitals for you. All right. Another participation for Manuel Eric, very good. Do you want to say something else about this, Karen?
Yes,
What color do you want to explain?
yellow.
Okay, come on, tell us more about the yellow color.
Many deaths, minimal infections, and more public activities return to normal.
Okay, so as you said with the yellow color, more public activities will go back. Thank you very much. For the next intervention, for the next person, I wonder if this person can explain me more about the green color. Yes, according to the order, we have Lisette or Esteban. Do you want to participate? Lisette first and then Esteban?
Yes, teacher.
Come on, green color, please.
Um,
Or orange. Which one do you want to explain?
yes, teacher. Um, Orange if you can stay at home,
Mhm.
and red do you not go out if it is not strictly necessary.
Mhm.
Um, Green that you can go out with caution and prevention, and yellow go out with great okay, caution.
Caution, very good. Thank you very much, Lisette. So you have heard to what Lisette said. The fact that we are in the green color doesn't mean that everything is back and the way it was, it means that we can still go out, but with precautions. Thank you very much of your participation, Lisette. Esteban, do you want to say something, or we let to Gabriel to complete his second comment? Okay, Esteban doesn't answer. Do you want to speak, Gabriel?
Sure, about the same.
Yes, I would like to know more about the green color, because I think that many people are confused about that. Do you have some info about that?
Well, the information that I have is that when we are in green, supposedly all the places can open, uh, at, but they have to be like at the 70% of their capacity,
Mm-hmm.
and just like
Okay.
that is just like all the info that I can add.
Okay, I think that's very important because I didn't know that it was on the 70%, but at school it's not the 70, right? I think it's the 50.
Yes, in fact, well, you said something about like in public schools,
Attendance.
from this letter to that letter, they have to go to the school, and the others they take the classes online. In my
Yeah.
case, the principal of the school make like a survey to the parents so they can decide if they send their kids to the school or they take the classes online. So in my
Wow.
case,
And what was the
it is like
result?
optional. What?
Can you tell us what was the result about that? How much percent want to come back and how much percent they don't want to?
I don't remember pretty well, but it was just like the 15% or 20 that wanted to their sons to go back to school. The rest with the
Really?
online classes are okay, yes.
So then it's a very low percentage of people who want to come back?
Yes, because they are afraid of this virus.
I can't believe what you are saying. I thought that more people wanted to come back as soon as possible, but I think that's more on grown-ups or teenagers, I guess.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, because in the end, as you said, parents are afraid of this virus because since they still have children, they still feel more responsible about that. Thank you very much, Gabriel, for your information. So we add this comment for you, and then we go on with Cynthia. Do you want to tell us about how this affects the social interaction, Cynthia, so that you can complete your second participation?
Yes, teacher. Um, it will be difficult for us to have a certain closeness outside the family environment. We will have a feeling of lack of protection and a certain harms about attending large events. This pandemic has reminded us that human interconnection has an effect on the spread of disease, but it's also necessary for our social well-being.
Okay, thank you very much for your information, Cynthia. We add you to another participation. Vanessa, it's in the list. Do you want to complete your second participation, Vanessa?
Yes, teacher.
Come on.
So that people will not have as a stable job, there will be employed people.
All right, this is about employee. It's very important what you said. You completed your second participation. We still have 5 more minutes. I invite to the ones who haven't participated very much. How about Sandy? How about Omar? How about Alejandra? Carla, to give us your conclusions about this, come on, or any other comment that you want to do before we disconnect. Come on, so that you can complete your second participation. Okay, Sandy wants to speak. Come on.
I think that some people, mainly in hygiene matters, we become more respectful of the rules.
Thank you very much for your conclusion, Sandy. Another person, okay, Wendy wants to speak. Come on. Hello, Wendy, are you there? Okay. Come on. Speak. Or we let to another person, maybe Omar, Alejandra, Brenda, to complete the second participation. Okay, I think that no one else want to speak. But okay, that's okay. We have, I will tell you the final list. We have Paola Silva, Eric Reyes, Victor Hugo, Johnny, Diana Laura, Wendy, Laura, Eric Carril, Emmanuel, with two participations, as well as Gabriel, Cynthia, Sandy, Marco Briseño, Karen, and Vanessa. They got two participations, and with one participation, we have Brenda, Alejandra, and Carla. All right, thank you very much for your participation. If you want to start disconnecting, this is the time. Thank you for participating in today's debate, and you can start disconnecting. Have a nice day, and see you tomorrow.